Do we have a quorum?
And we have a quorum now?
Yes, we have a quorum now. And honestly, I'm not gonna take up a whole lot of time because we want to get the important stuff out of the way so you guys can get back to your lives. But I do want to say that we did a year-end report, not only in the normal fashion that we've done in the previous years. This year we did something a little bit different. We created a video year-end report. It's broken down by subject matter, the same way you would find it if you have the printed material. I would like to say that we have our resident rock star here. He recorded the opening reading to it, the letter from the board chair. That's here. So I encourage everybody to go in. If you don't have time to read the material, go in, just turn it on if you're in your car and let the playlist play so you can get the information about the stuff that you guys as the board have assisted us in accomplishing over the previous year. It's a really impressive report. We've done some really incredible things over the last year, and it concludes with the feel good success story that actually a couple of success story highlights from the previous year. So that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to share that with you. Please go in and like us, follow us on your favorite social media, KCC Bluegrass, and that's it.
Done.
Let's get the business out of the way.
Well, why don't we go ahead and finish the informational items since we started down that path? That's okay with staff. We're going to be an update on state monitoring.
They've done the program side. There's still some things that they're looking at on the physical side, and right now we think that it's all gonna be good. That's all I got. Sorry.
So we look good as far as we know.
Yes, as far as we know, we look good.
All right.
No indication of anything to the contrary.
No.
At this point with the state monitoring, there's just a lot of files that we're going to provide uploaded information.
Yeah.
But we won't know anything secure until they finish that. We did have the call and we're still just getting information back to them, but as soon as we get something more concrete, we'll be able to share.
Yeah, on the physical side, the thing that they're looking at, there was some map quests missing, or whenever the staff had scanned it to upload it, to send to, you know what I mean, and all that stuff. It's like bad printer, bad copies. So they're just digging through all that. They've requested, it's basically just a bunch of map lists. So, and it's from one career center to the other.
We also have a few policies that we have to get in place, because Michael has, we talked about it in the executive committee meeting for some of the fiscal policies. So we still have some policies that we need to write on an ad level that will, so that important for, like, for example, the monthly check that Michael does with fines. We need to just get policies written that enforce that. So those are some things that we'll need to apply to the state.
The policy in place, because we have them documented.
We just have to get policies that will have to get voted on and approved. But we got, I think the state gave us until October to get that finished, so we're in good shape.
Great. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Let's go, sector reports for high demand areas.
Just wanted to let everybody know that the new sector reports are out. You should have received an email saying that the sector reports are uploaded, but we like to put it in here to remind everybody too. And as always, dgweb.us/sectors. If there's information regarding another sector or more drilled down information that you guys are looking for, please reach out to Rolly's going to be your number one because he uses that much more than I do. And I will be your number two for finding stuff on the sector information. But just wanted to put that reminder out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy. Next on the list, rec service provider report for August. And then that enters the Hayes.
You have July report in the packet, and it does look a little different. When I submitted it to Mike, I let him know that this report used to be 6 to 7 pages, and now it's down to 8. And so our primary focus right now is just covering our 4 offices and maintaining our current caseload. So in July, we had 8 total staff, and we had 845 existing participants already on our caseload. So we weren't necessarily recruiting for a lot of new enrollments. We're just trying to maintain what we currently have, which is, near 850. But in July, staff did start to, do a little bit of outreach. So we started outreaching to our adult ed offices. So, some of those offices, and on-site, a few partnerships, but for the most part, our staff are just on-site, the 4 KCC offices maintaining our current caseloads. We still do offer employability workshops twice a week virtually. So if anybody in your communities or any partners that you have need job seekers trained up on how to write resumes, how to interview, how to, cover letters, whatever, anything employability related, we offer those virtually on Tuesday and Wednesdays of every week. And then we did some VR events. I think Todd will probably cover those. We were at Mountain Comp here in Richmond with a VR event in the month of July. And then as always, I always put a couple success stories at the end of my report. But that's all I have. If you all have any questions.
Thank you, Jennifer. And last but not least, item E, under informational items, one top operator report. Forward yours.
Thank you, Judge. In your package, you'll find my report from July. Typically just hit on a couple of high points with what I was going on, had going on in July. In the absence of our business services staff, I've been assisting Rolando, so he and I are basically the point of contact for the business services. So July, we started going out and getting the master agreement signed for some of our work experience sites where we currently had individuals placed. So you can see we got 4 of those master agreements signed. We did have one rapid response over in Winchester at Multicolor Corporation. We've since done another one just this month for those folks being let go there. And then Jennifer touched on the hiring events. So between our staff here and the board staff, we kind of tackle these as necessary and just depending on who can get out to where. But in July, we had an Amtech VR demo, Hitachi job fair. We had somebody at Ignite the Blocks resource fair. The Madison County Libraries are still doing VR demos. The Jeremy's been attending the Bergen back to school resource fair, and then the Mountain Conquer VR event and resource fair that we attended in July. Moving forward, we'll continue to tackle those events just as a group effort. And starting tomorrow, like mentioned it, but Connie and all the folks at CDO will be moving into our office there on Fortune Drive. Looking forward to having some increased foot traffic and getting back together under one roof. And my goal is by the end of the year to go ahead and submit that certification for it to be a comprehensive center as well. So I'll be glad to take any questions.
So does that mean you agree there is value in social interaction?
There is, Judge. There is. Thank you all.
All right. We'll go back to the top of our agenda. I understand we do have a form now. Okay, great. For the Leos, I mean. Well, for an action items, couple of items we need to do first is the executive committee of Leo's minutes from 7/27, and I'll ask for a motion to approve those minutes. Any of the Leos? Judge West made that motion. Second. Judge Adams has seconded that motion. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? All in favor signify by aye. Anyone opposed? Minutes are approved. Thank you. John?
For BG Web board meeting, meeting minutes from June the 7th. And everyone's got that, looked over it. At that point, we look for a motion to approve from BG Web. Got Dolly, and a second.
Second.
Got a couple of seconds. She won. And all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any discussion? Action item approved.
Thank you, John. Next we have item B is approval of finance report for July. It's going to be presented by Colin. And this is indicated for joint approval, so everyone could vote on that. Is that right? Okay, Colin. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
First off, I had an update on the July report, just made it a little bit more cleaner. Need one? Anybody else need one?
Judge Kay, if you can hear me, I need you to turn your camera back on, please, to remain in the forum.
All right, so
We just turn the camera back on for the Leos to vote. Unfortunately, that is a regulation.
These here.
We'll wait for him to get active before we receive information shared.
You can proceed. Let's
Go ahead, Carl.
all right, thank you. Okay, so as everyone has the July 2023 report up. For as far as our total budget was concerned, we expended about 6% all the way through July, and that's compared with 7% on our prior year. Our admin was at about 5% as compared with 11% in the prior year. Adult expenditures was at 5% as compared with 11% prior year. Dislocated worker was expended at 4% after after 7% in the prior year. Youth was around 7%, and that was compared with 8% the prior year. And then we were about 4% expended on our work experience requirement, which is required on all youth program funds. And the reason for the update for your report was to add that nice trend line on there to show the FY24 forecast. As July came to a close, we had expended about $160,000 as compared with an average of about 220 is what we can handle for the whole year for each month. So if anyone has any questions, please let me know.
Just clarify for the group, fiscal year start. Understand that we start.
Yes, so we just started fiscal year 24. That began July 1st, and that will end on June 30th, fiscal year 24.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And for this, the axis on the right that's doing the percentages, we should ignore that if this.
Yes, ignore that. Yes. So what this chart is intending to show is that big blue line is how we spent fiscal year 23. And fiscal year 24, we're at a much lower pace and a much lower funding level. So we're yes.
I mean, we'll be getting very close, if not right at our 100% expected to expend this year.
Correct. We will, yes. And we'll get into that in the budget, which as many here are aware, we have tried to set up that budget so that we do have a little extra carryover going into next year. Yes.
Any other questions or comments?
Great, good.
John, if you're okay, I'll ask for a vote to approve Colin's report, as presented, entertain a motion to approve the report. Anyone, and this is Leo or Bluegrass with board members. Rich Hamilton has made the motion. Here a second.
Okay.
Watson second. Any other questions or comments before we vote? All in favor of the motion signify by aye. Anyone opposed? Report is approved. Congratulations. And then next, we're going to approve the budget for fiscal year 24, and year 20% again. Okay.
Sir. Okay, so fiscal year 24 budget. we started out on the far right-hand side, you can see what our actuals were for fiscal year 23. So in total, we spent $4.5 million. And for the, total allocation that we have available for fiscal year 24, we have about 3.3, between 3.3, 3.4 million. So, we were $1 million down, but the goal was to, allow a little room for some reserve funds heading into fiscal year 25, so we can kind of ramp up, to get back to our normal spending levels, in some regard. So, we've got it broken down. If you go from left to right, we've got our admin, adult, dislocated worker, and youth. We've got all of those buckets, separated. We've got a fiscal year 23 carryover, into this year of about $157,000. And then our total, sorry, that was in youth. The total fiscal year 23 carryover is around 540,000. And then our fiscal year 24 allocations total about 2.8 million. So that's how the 3.3 million is split up. Operating costs, that's the next heading as you go down. That is basically what the ad takes to operate. So we're spending about 1.3 million there. We've also got program delivery costs. That's what Equus gets at 1.486 million. And then our one-stop operator, they're just short of 100,000 on that. So the operating budget was generated by us at the ad, and then the program delivery and one-stop operator, Equus, put that together on their end and submitted it back to us. So if anybody has any questions about this, please let me know.
Any questions? Comments? Opinions? Okay, last group.
Yeah. So, it's together, it's
Separately, so I'll ask first, for a motion by Leo's approved budget for fiscal year 24. Mr. Leo, I can see in Judge Hamilton's eyes that he wants to make that motion. Yes, sir. You're saying Judge Adams wants to second that. Any comments or questions before we vote? All in favor of the motion signify by aye. Did anyone oppose? That motion is carried. Johnny.
Okay. Same questions, same comments, for the Bluegrass win, for the motion to approve the budget for 24. Matt's got a motion. Mike has got a second. All in favor, aye? Any questions, comments? All right, we're approved.
Thank you, Colleen. Next is item D, under action items, approval of maintaining hybrid meetings for all meetings except the joint meeting and training, which will be held in person only. We're going to vote on that separately as well. I assume we don't have a text for that yet.
Not yet.
Okay, for the Leos only, if you're comfortable with the way we've been doing business and want to have, again, I guess close to a year from now, or about a year from now, another joint meeting, as we're expected to do for the Leos, I'll entertain a motion to approve, continuing as we are for our hybrid meetings. But Wes has made that motion. Anyone want a second motion? Judge Hamilton seconds the motion. Any questions or comments? All in favor of the motion signify by aye. Anyone opposed? It is approved.
All right, for our Bluegrass win, keeping the hybrid except for this meeting, we got, appreciate this meeting, being in person. Look for a motion to approve that statement. Got it. Second. All in favor, aye? Any questions, comments, discussion? Jointly approved.
Next is item E, a steering committee for hiring a new workforce director. Leo's and the rest will approve that separately, we do need to approve that first.
I'd like for Mike to make a statement about what that actually is before we move. If that-
Absolutely. So what I'd like to be able to do is to get two individuals from the Leo board and two individuals from the workforce board to join along with myself to create a steering committee to look towards the hiring process for a new workforce director. So currently I serve as the interim. I do not intend to do that past January the 1st. So I won't be applying for that, so there won't be a conflict there. But what I'd like to do is to get a committee together so that we can look at, for example, like taking a look at the job description, the expectations for this position. I'd like to have feedback from it, from the Leo board, from the workforce board, and also I would serve kind of on behalf of the HR director, as far as, since we would be the employer of record and we'll take care of the hiring. That way we can get this started now, because kind of the timeline is now I'll switch my badge over to HR director, but what the timeline I'd like to see is go through is I'd like to get this committee started now in September, so that gives us kind of the rest of this month to flesh out and work on what we want to see that job description look like, so we can target the audience we want to go for, and determine, what type of candidate that you all would like to see overseeing the workforce operations. And then that also allows me to get that posted. We'll definitely post on LinkedIn, we'll post on our site, we'll put it through other channels, so that we can kind of leave that open for the majority of the month of October for people to apply. That gives us time to get candidates in and to review. I know last time we had a lot of applications that came in, the last time we hired for a workforce director, and it took them a couple of rounds of reviewing resumes to get down to the final three. I want to make sure that we have plenty of time to do that, so we're not rushed. I don't want us to rush through anything. That gives us the month of October to kind of post it, get some applications in, and then what I'd like to be able to do in the month of November is to focus on interviews. Because we may have to do more than one round of interviews. So what I'd like to do is have the month of November to do some interviews. Hopefully ending around Thanksgiving time, we would be able to have a candidate selected and come back and discuss, so that we could potentially make a job offer, so that we could, have turn it over to them in November, so that we would anticipate that whoever would be taking this position would probably need to give at least a 30-day notice to their current employer. That would give us that month of December for them to tie loose into their previous position. And that way we could bring them on first of the year. The reason also, just for transparency, we're looking first of the year is because of the reduction in funding we received this year. It was gonna be really hard for us to have the director position for a full 12 months. That's why I'm kind of doing this now, because the ad covers my salary, so I'm not taking anything from workforce funds to be the director at this point. And by doing that, that allows us to kind of save money, so that come January 1st, we have the money to hire a director. And then next year we'll be on much better fiscal ground. So what I would like, if it's okay with both of you all, if we could get two representatives from each board to be involved in the steering committee. And then what I will do is I will follow up after this meeting to set a time. We can do most of this virtually. We don't have to meet personally. But I'll set up a series of Teams meetings so that we can review documents, we can review expectations. And kind of, I can get a feel for what you want, and I can get a position description drafted, and we can move forward with this process.
The only comment, I think we've got a full board meeting on December 6th. So if we need to review as a board, that approve that recommendation and the board make the offer. I think that's what fits your timeline. But I'm not sure when the next Leo meeting is.
We got an executive meeting on November 1st. Well, I didn't know the time.
We're talking about approving the recommended candidate.
That's right. Or we should vote as a group here that we would accept that, or at the next relevant meeting, that we would accept the recommendations in order to make that offer. Just to get out of the way of the process.
I mean, personally, I think if we could set it to where whoever is appointed to the steering committee kind of can have some representation for those boards. That way, once the five come together and we have a candidate that we feel comfortable with, that way we can kind of move ahead with that. And expedite the process. Because what I would hate to do is to lose a candidate or not go to start on time, just because we're trying to fit a timeline with some meetings. And I would hope, that the board will be comfortable with whatever two members of their board are nominated. They can also communicate with those board members. Like, so for example, let's say you were on it, you'd be able to communicate with the other WIB members, just to make sure you're serving as the representative for that board, touch base with other folks if there were concerns. Okay.
Yeah. Vote on approval of the process we want to follow. We're not going to get the names of the steering committee members here
If we could
We
today,
can, but we don't have to.
no, we don't have to. It would be great today if we could identify those members. But if you all don't feel comfortable doing that today, I totally understand that as well.
We don't, and probably push their job description approval, or is that something to deal with?
It backs us up a little bit, but I mean, it would be great to have the two nominees, because there may be folks today here that would like to volunteer, that have an interest in being a part of that process, but if we can get that moving, because what I want to do is I want to make sure that we're expediting this process, and we're not putting ourselves in a situation where we're having to make a hasty decision or a rough decision because of self-imposed timelines. I want us to give ourselves as much time as we have to work.
I think we're looking to, for this meeting to approve the steering committee and then, if we can get candidates, I guess, willing and wanting to get those candidates on board and then if Mike can go ahead and start setting meeting dates. Sound right?
I'm sure about the way, but I'm sure all the Leos will want to volunteer.
Oh, I mean, I see hands going up. Doug Lawson's barely holding his hand down.
I've got some inside information on this so far.
Well, I know last time it was, Judge, you were on the committee, if I remember correctly, Mayor Gordon. Myself, I'm embarrassed to say that.
I was there,
You were there.
I think Dolly was part as well.
I know we brought a bus to interview everybody.
Very comfortable with Mike's recommendation to have only 5 steering committees, 2 from each group, plus him as the HR director. That makes sense. Certainly is fair and can get the job done without question. If indeed, Leos are comfortable that we can agree on our two participants today. Welcome any volunteers, or if you want to volunteer one of your peers who's not at the meeting. That's always pretty risky. I'll be glad to participate again if colleagues are okay with that.
I appreciate that.
Is anyone else? Okay, we have at least one volunteer. We'll have a second one. What is today? Wednesday, by the end of the week. Is that fair enough?
As long as we need to vote on, they have to approve.
You want to approve it today?
We need to approve that today, probably Stacy said, so they're here to vote.
That, I mean, because it's put under that, you probably will need to vote on it, but, well, you can vote on how you want to do it too.
Okay.
Vote on
Because
the
it's not
steering
Yeah,
defined.
committee.
just then you have to give us an idea. That's fine. So we have Judge Williams and one other.
I think myself and Mayor Gordon can appoint.
Okay.
Perfect.
Mayor Gordon for appointment.
Yes. Yes,
Perfect.
so, okay.
That works.
You need to
I
vote.
don't think we need to vote on that. I think, as co-CEOs, the mayor and I can appoint.
Okay.
Perfect.
That you're just voting on the process. That's how you're going to do it. You're going to get approval. That's how you're going to do it.
Okay. So I'll ask for a motion. We want to do it jointly or separately? Let's do it separately. Ask for a motion by the Leos to approve the process as described by our HR director, Mike Riley.
Make a motion.
Motion, Judge Adams, your second.
Second.
At the bottom of the second of that motion. Any questions or comments? Does everybody understand what we're doing and why we're doing it this way? All in favor of the motion, signify by aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. For the list, I'll let the cat out of the bag. I've already kind of told first one participant being Dolly, I asked her if she would do those. She would. So that's one. I kind of want to. Looking for a second, I know Matt is strong with it. Do we have another volunteer that wants to be part of the process? And can you tell us, how many meetings, how much time for something? This might be, so that I understand.
I would expect probably 2 to 3 meetings to work out the detailed job description. I think if I can have one meeting up front just to get an idea for what you all want, and another meeting to bring it back to you, and I think we should be good. And then after that, I'll take care of the job postings and getting the resumes in, and then from that point on, it'll just be an issue of me sending you the resumes after we kind of set some expectations. I can, get us down to a reasonable number.
So just want everybody to know what kind of time consumption.
I'll make it as easy and as expedited for you as possible.
We have volunteers that we got, there you go. Got, and Matt, if you want to be there.
No, that's good.
Okay. Matt was strong last time, so we got two awesome volunteers. Right. And now, we need to, our motion to approve the process.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Matt. And a second, from Micah, and all in favor of aye? Thank you so much. I'm assuming all questions have been. Thank you.
That's all the, action items that are listed. Is this considered a call meeting and we ask if
More.
Yeah, a couple more things at the bottom.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I'm going to this list and you are.
Yeah, I just got a couple more little items at the bottom.
Okay, go ahead, Wayne.
As
Information.
far as the BG web member Stacy, is that updating on new members or?
I just wanted to let everybody know we're good on membership. We do have 2 members that are getting renewed, thankfully. Thank you guys for staying, in October. So those will go out for signature to, Mayor Gordon and Judge Williams. But other than that, we're good.
As far as the Kentucky Cruise Center Bluegrass staff, I'll just kind of update on that. We're currently, I believe, Jennifer, we have an opening at the Danville Center for TDS and for a business service rep, but both of those are posted. So we anticipate we should have somebody in the next month, easily, 2-3 weeks maybe. Bridges Out of Poverty, Tiff, would you like to give us an update on the Bridges Out of Poverty training?
Oh, gosh.
On the spot.
On the spot. Okay, so, with the Bridges Out of Poverty, it is a free resource, right? I'm a facilitator with it. I don't know if y'all have ever taken it. It is wonderful. It lets you look through kind of like a different set of eyes. It's through different lenses, right? So I gave an example to Judge Hamilton because we were talking about it. One of the things that it talks about, like a whole lot of people say, I don't know why people don't just get a job. I don't know why people don't just do this. I don't know why. There are hidden rules. That's part of what the Bridges Out of Poverty goes through, is letting you see maybe why they do those things that they do. Anyone that would, if you want to, I know I'm meeting with Donna after this to discuss it with them. I've done it, Amy's work group, and a couple other places. If y'all are interested in me coming into your county or anything like that, just let me know.
And the pieces of that I've got from our last, joint meeting was awesome. I'll never forget some of the lessons I learned from just that little.
It's amazing.
Stacy, I think we've got one more piece, that's the free outreach for social media. You want to touch on that?
Gonna plug for our social media. Also, everybody should have on their, I'm sorry, where did we go to this thing? Everybody should have on their table. Thank you. A little flyer that looks like that. Thank you, Vanna. Highlighting our 3 virtual video services that we do. These are free. It promotes workforce, it promotes business services, or well, the businesses, and it promotes our community resources. So if you would like to highlight your county, if you would like to highlight a festival that goes on in your county, something that goes on in the town, there's one like talk about antique car shows or like a hot dog festival or mushroom festival or whatever's going on. Contact us and we will record a video, put it out there, and try to drive some folks to your community to get some tax dollars in there for you.
And we have some new resources to utilize, so, also I'll just share, some exciting stuff. Stacy is also going to be working out on a larger focus to add, after, we had a staff leave of Chip Clark, love you all for Chip. But Stacy is going to be taking on a lot of the public information for the ad as a whole, so she'll be managing our website, our content. And I'm excited to see what Stacy can do with the ad material as a whole, because I know she's done with workforce. But we also now have a drone. I'm really excited about that, at the ad, so. But that's something that we can come out and help our partners in the county and the cities with if you need aerial shots of
You just make an operator?
We got to make an operator. We're trying to be all things to all people. So, we do have that now also to do some publicity stuff and do some of the video. So that's just another way we're trying to expand to assist our counties, our local governments and our industry partners. One last thing I wanted to touch on, because we do try to keep you all aware, both boards, of what we're a part of, especially when it's the larger item, the things that you may flip on the TV and see that we're involved with. So one of the things that we have been working a lot with in the last one is the BG project here in Madison County. You see a lot of that, I think, the demilitarization, you've seen that on the TV. We're expecting a lot of layoffs with that. I'm gonna let Rolando Packer, our business service manager, Rolly's been involved since day one with this project, and he is definitely our expert. So Rolly, can you just kind of give us an update of where we are with that, the BG project, expectations, and what we will see over the next year?
About time I get to talk again. I got put in the corner for a while, this is all, BG Cap stuff has been all hands on deck, so I just didn't talk about it. But there has been a lot of hands involved in it, anywhere from, Jeremy putting on a training for, content together for Microsoft. I know Robin's been sending out people applying for it. Stacy's been getting it all put together nicely in a bundle where they can click on it and view it. So there's a training component where anybody being affected by the layoff, they can access that, type of material. Todd providing, rapid responses to the individuals being laid off. We did our first, rapid response session, on the 23rd. It was for 65 jobs, whether it was occupied or not. But there was 13 present that attended. It was a virtual, rapid response. So 13 people that were, present, that received information about what opportunities are available. We are gonna continue doing rapid response as the layoffs continue. It will ramp up. This is kind of like the beginning stages of the layoffs. So, starting next quarter, which, will be here shortly, will be the next wave of layoffs. So eventually it's gonna come down to about 1,700 people being laid off. So, it's no shock to nobody. I think everybody's pretty aware that, it is closing down. Now the depot's not closing down, it's just the chemical agent side of it. So, the depot will still be there. It's just the chemical side. I believe that the last bit of chemical has been destroyed. Now it's just the second piece of it was the display rocket. So, I know that there's plenty of employers who are interested in those job seekers. I know that I'll be working with Donna and I know, David Stipes here in Richmond to try to see how we can keep those folks here in Madison County. And then, I'm sure that there will be some that will be interested in attending, other times as well as job opening up. So, that's it. Thank you, sir.
And then Rose said something that made me think, we talked about.
Oh, I'm sorry, one more thing. I'm sorry. I didn't want to leave anybody out. And I do apologize if I left anybody out. I don't want to leave anybody out, but also every Friday, there's staff at the Richmond Community Career Center, that they're coming to do resumes, workshops and things like that. So I don't want to leave those folks out because they have been doing an awesome job providing resume assistance and workshop assistance as well.
And along those lines, I also wanted to just mention and the special things that we talked about, we're about back to full staff with the career center staff. This time last year, we had 27 staff with direct service staff, and now we have 9. But that's full staff. So I really want to give a thanks to Jennifer and her staff. But also really, Jennifer's the project manager, but I think right now Jennifer has a caseload of about 400 or 600 people in follow-up. So she's juggling a whole lot. And also just want to, Todd is our one-stop operator. Todd is there to make sure that all 4 of our career centers are running smoothly and we're working with partners, but Todd has also been helping out. We've not had a business service contact in the direct service realm. He's worked with Rolly a lot to fill in for a lot of those rapid response and really help Rolly out. So I just really want to thank them and their commitment to what we do. And they're taking on a lot of jobs. Jennifer normally should be on project management, but she's doing enrollment, she's doing follow-up, he's doing a little bit of everything, and so is Todd. So we sincerely appreciate him and all of the work that they've done to help us continue to be successful. That's all I've got there.
That ends our agenda. I just want to say thanks again to everyone for being here. We have members, thank you for your service. Leo, for joining us today, thank you always for your service. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved. Second. Second is all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thanks, everyone. Have a safe trip home.